Hi. Y'all beat me here. Hi, everybody. No, I'm not talking. It's not a video, it's a live stream. Well, thank you. I just had something to type first. We're here still. Hi, Carl. Thank you, Sherry. Congrats on your readings, too, by the way. I will, Jay. Hi, Lori. Hi, Artist. Hi, Magic. Thank you, Jessica. Hi, Peace. Christine. R&E, how you doing? Okay. Hi. You asked Tarot. I watched your latest video just a few minutes ago. Or your last video, I should say. Haunted Salem. I've never heard of that. So we are going to start with Robert De Niro. Thank you, Jay. We are going to start with Robert De Niro. Hi, Mari. It's penetrated everybody's house. So it turns out that a person he had working for him, I think she's trying to get into film herself, like producing movies and things like that. And she has since resigned. I think she resigned last year, June 2018, something like that. But she is going to, I'm talking about Robert De Niro. She is going to sue him because she said that she was basically treated unfairly and that she had to physically touch him in ways that made her uncomfortable. Of course, he's denying everything. She said that she was more like his office wife than a production assistant or someone in production. She would have to like run his personal errands. She would have to wake him up and things like that, like prod him awake. This was what she called the physical touching she was uncomfortable with. She would have to button his shirts, and she was trying to get into film and not do all this other weirdness. But she resigned. Thank you, Ken and Michelle. She resigned, and he called her, and it's an audio recording that she captured, and basically just cussed her out from top to bottom. Called her a spoiled brat and all these type of things, and said basically that she was done. So she wants to get her reputation back, and she wants to get back into film and all that good stuff. But of course, he's the big name. So did she pick the wrong enemy? Possibly, but we'll see what happens. So I want to see what's going on in that situation, because she is now suing for $12 million or $11 million or something like that, saying that he made her uncomfortable with the touching and that he is basically harassing her now. So, 7 of Cups, that's bright. 7 of Cups, confusion. Not completely clear yet. 4 of Cups, there's a little moping and disappointment here. So this looks like this is her, because she has basically had her career sort of ended by this situation. Yeah, 4 of Swords, so she has to sit this one out now. Meanwhile, he goes on, he makes more movies, they hire another person, replace you just like that. Death card, major change. I don't know who she is. She was just a production assistant. They gave her name, but I don't remember. But this is Robert De Niro's assistant. Well, it wasn't really his assistant. She was supposed to just be in production. But he didn't treat her like that. He treated her like, some errand girl. 9 of Wands. So this is the uphill battle. So it's now all over. And then there's the Tower. So it all comes crashing down. And 5 of Pentacles. So now she's out in the cold. So they really did kind of steamroll her career. Maybe that's why she wants the compensation, because she basically spoke out against him, and so now everything's kind of over for her, because she wanted to resign once. He told her if she did that there would be repercussions, so she stayed on, and she eventually got tired and fed up, and then she finally resigned, and then he called her and dressed her down, basically. Here's the Fear, the Woman of Means. There's the hopes for money to come her way again. But there is some disappointment. There's a part of her, though, that really wants to go back to the set. She kind of wants a do-over, but it's not really something she can do. Well, thank you again, Ken and Michelle. There's the Hermit. So now we're talking isolation. Isolation, loneliness. So she's been thrown out. And there was the Warning. I think she was mistreated. I don't know about the whole, you can't tell the person how to feel. Hi, Connie. But I can't say that. Oh, House of Lenormand, how you doing? I can't say that there was a, what do you call it? Not harassment. It wasn't like sexual harassment. I can't necessarily say it's not, though, because like I say, you can't tell the person how to feel. I missed it. Queen of Wands is your solace. So there is a woman, though, who can give you an opportunity that can completely turn around everything. You got the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Cups, or 10 of Pentacles. So there is a woman in production. She's also an actress, and she makes movies on the side, like not on the side, but as well. This is the person that can turn this around for her. But Robert De Niro, I think in this in particular case, she's kind of barking up the wrong tree. I know that she needs sort of something to settle this, some closure to this, but I don't think you're going to get it here. I don't think you're going to get it from him. So I would say just move on, let it go. But like I say, you can't tell a person how to feel. So do what you need to do for you. But I would let it go and just move on because it's not worth it. That's what I would do. There is a doctor in Virginia who has now been sentenced to 40 years in prison for prescribing opioids illegally. 40 years. And with a minimum sentence of 20 years. He is going to appeal. We're going to see how that goes. I forget how many it says, but it's like 400,000 cases of prescription opioids that he has sent out that were basically illegal. One person died as a result of his prescriptions. And he has now been sentenced to 40 years. But his patients, Tarotsapprentice, are coming out and basically saying he saved my life. If it wasn't for him, I couldn't have dealt with my chronic pain, such and such and such. There is something to be said for malice intent. There is another thing to be said for, character witness. Yes, he did. He went way over the top. But he's appealing. There's the chariots. Where's the camera? There's the chariots. So through a lot of effort, there is some victory, but this is not victory as in he's getting out of jail. This is victory as in we will now hear your appeal. Six of Pentacles. There is a lot of paying out you have to do. I think a civil suit might follow too, because you did cause damages. Yeah. There's a health problem here. This is usually like betrayal and heartbreak and things like that. Could also indicate a heart problem. So there is a health problem here too. The Fool. There is you. So this doesn't look good for you already. This might be something you may need to just succumb to your fate, but do what you need to do. Because there is a heart problem, a health problem here. Two of Wands. So this is basically going to be looking out into the vast sea of possibilities, but I don't know. I don't think this is not going to go well for you. I mean, you've already been sentenced, and I understand 40 years is pretty devastating, but I think that's just the way it's going to be, though. Especially in light of Johnson & Johnson just losing $500 million to their opioid case. This is not a good time for you. King of Pentacles. And Page of Pentacles. So we're talking money here. So again, I think a civil suit or a class action suit is also going to be taken. So you may just want to save your money, because if your malpractice doesn't cover it, something's going to happen. And I don't know if he's going to lose his license or what, or if he's already lost it, because what he did was actually illegal. Like I said, I would submit to the fate, because it's over. That's your fear. Death card. How fitting. Your hopes, quick action, escape, 8 of Wands. Ace of Pentacles again with the money. There's a new opportunity. And the 5 of Swords, win at all costs. But this is also a defeat. Save your money. Your warning, 10 of Wands. The burden has just started. You haven't actually spent your 40 years yet. Mind you, this is 40 years with a minimum of 20. So he will be probably in his 60s or early 70s when he gets out. I forget how old he is, but your solace, Knight of Pentacles. This is people you hire. But people are starting to walk away. There is the 8 of Cups, the abandonment, and then your support system. Your patience alone is not enough to save you. I would just let this go. I mean, I get it, because 40 years is a long time. Somebody tell you got 40 years in prison to do, then yeah. You do have ethereal visions. I would fight it too. I get it, but yeah, no. It's going to end the same. It just is. Your goose is cooked, friend. So, we know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. From the beginning of the administration, did leaks and whistleblowers have a plan beforehand that they were going to be the ones to sort of keep watch? Or were they going to give him a chance, and then when things got out of control, then they started preaching and talking? So what? Were they always going to tell? Which means they seen something beforehand. Maybe they are spies for the Obamas. Who knows? But were they always going to tell? Or did they see something and then they started to say something? Hi, Alchemist. Well, I think they were the ones who didn't leave, because there were people who had some great foreshadowing who knew this was going to end very badly. Yeah, King of Swords. There's Donald Trump. 10 of Pentacles. GOP. And Judgment. So they knew this beforehand. Like before he even got in. Which just lets me know they got information beforehand that you need to watch out for X, Y, and Z. And so therefore they are. And the moment they saw something, they said something. Some of them. Some of them have a lot of information because this is the outcome card for Pentacles. This is clinging, holding something close to the vest there. So there's still a lot of information that we don't know that they know because they're in proximity. There's the fighting in politics with the Judgment card. 3 of Wands. Plans. And Wheel of Fortune. So now we have the turning of the fate. So the more stuff that came out, the more plans that were put into motion, the more things that they tried to do, the more things people slipped to the New York Times and to the Washington Post and to all these places. These people didn't get their stories simply because they're good investigators. They got them because the White House was spilling the beans. The fear was dead moping and disappointment. The hope was for the mystery to sort of shed light. I'm not going to turn the light on, but I will turn on a lamp, and then maybe you can see the rest for yourself. So they gave these little breadcrumbs to big stories. The problem is none of them amounted to his impeachment or anything like that. But along the way, we at the very least, what do you call it? Built a case. Hi, Marie. 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, this was him and his partnerships, and this was also them there at the White House. The Tower. This is why me and Lena, when we did our reading, I wanted to know, was he more in danger from the outside or the inside? And the inside is just as dangerous as the outside, because they were always against him. Some of the ones that had the power were maybe not, but the ones behind them, absolutely. 4 of Swords. That's the warning. Setting that one out. The treats. There is a win at all costs and defeat mentality. And this is my card for America, and this is why they did it. Because he is seen, but was seen in the beginning as a threat, as a person who just was the dishonorable one. Because he is not, Bush he's just as disgusting as a corrupt, but he's not as disgusting and corrupt as Trump. And I guess that's opinion, but they didn't feel the need to do this to Bush, but they feel the need to do this to Trump. Because at the very least, you didn't think Bush was working for Putin. Maybe somebody else, but not Putin. So they were always there. They were always going to speak. More than a little. I was like, what does it say? Hi, how you doing? I need more glasses. Or should I say better glasses? Rick, this is about everything. Everything. Because right now, what I'm about to do is not about politics. Elizabeth Holmes was the CEO of, I think it's pronounced Theranos. And she made a company. She had a company that created a blood test, that apparently could take like the smallest drop of blood, like what they called a raindrop of blood, and you can run all your tests with whatever kind of test that you think you might want to run. It would run with this new product that they had. So they got it She was selling it in Palo Alto, and she was selling it in Arizona. And so what she was doing was selling these things, but these things didn't actually work. It didn't do what she said it was going to do. And so the civil action came against Walgreens, which is where it was, and Theranos, which was the company, which has now been dissolved. She used to be worth $8 billion, says Forbes. Now says she's worth zero. So she is on her way to jail, you ask me. Exactly, Lori. She is on her way to jail. And she is now in the middle of a legal battle because, of course, she's trying to appeal, and she says she's not guilty of wire fraud and corruption, and the evidence says otherwise. So she has some lawyers. But since her net worth is now rumored to be zero, she cannot pay these lawyers. So these lawyers won't off her case. Because the lawyers claim that she has not paid them in a year. So they say it's not fair to expect us to represent her, and she can't pay. So what does that mean for her? Well, there's a new action, so I think they will be let off the case. Yeah, about money, about a lot of money, because she's supposed to got this, really nice law firm and so forth and so forth. So it's about a lot of money. Strength. There is strength in names. There is strength in resources. But she's losing it. There's defeat. There is defeat. Eight of Wands, communication, quick action, and defeat. So yeah, this is going to come relatively soon as well. Ace of Wands, another action. So these are the new people. Yeah, there's the new again. These are both new actions. So she's got new lawyers on the way because these other ones say you're not paying us. So she probably gets a public defender, which means that she's probably going to have to cop a deal and then go down anyway. Three of Pentacles, that's the fear. The wrong partnerships, the wrong alliances, the wrong people representing you. So she fears as though she gets probably lawyers that are less capable than the ones that she had up here. Four of Swords, that's what she wants. She wants this to just be over. The Sun, shining light on something. The Hangman. This is what she got her own self into. So, like, the facts of the case are already in. She's just pleading not guilty to them. So all the prosecutor has to do really is just, add up the details. So she's still going down. You're basically just wasting time and money. Thank you, Cynthia. And Four of Cups, a bad offer. So yeah, you do fear who's going to represent you next. It's not going to necessarily be. King of Cups. You do have a support system. It's just not going to be the right one. But your burden, again, is money. You have not, apparently. So if you can't pay, then what are they supposed to do for you? This is their payouts. This is your burden. So Looks like jail for you. How long? I don't know, but jail indeed. Let's see. Exactly. Oh. I was reading about Elizabeth Holmes. She was the CEO of a medical supply company. So it turns out that they say more Republicans are now saying, can you and Kim at interview, Intuit View, do a reading? Sure. Do a reading with anybody. They are now saying that more people, what little girl missing? I don't do missing people because I don't know how to find missing people. We tried that once a long time ago and it didn't work. Like I'm not a medium, so I can't talk to people on the other side and I can't find missing people. If I did, then I'd go, straight to the police and say, hey, here she is. That's not my lane. There you go. Lori, the way of positive change. She can do it. So, there are people who say that they are in favor of on the Republican side, saying they are in favor of the whistleblower stuff coming out. And they want to see the transcripts. They want to see this. They want to see that, blah, blah, blah. Right? So what I want to know is why now? Why didn't they want to read the Mueller report, but they want this whistleblower thing? What I think is, we'll see what this says. What I think is they did not account, or they didn't count on their supporters reading the Mueller report. Therefore, it's something they can attack and ignore. This, however, has been admitted by the president, so it's not something they can ignore. So, let's see. Hi, Elaine. Thank you. Can anyone read the tarot even if you don't feel you have the talent? Absolutely, you can. You do not have to be psychic to read tarot. And I will show you how. Right now. For instance, this card is the 10 of Cups. It's gigantic. Let me hold it this way. On Patreon. This is the 10 of Cups. This card means happy home, happy life, happy family, means harmony, unity, connectivity, togetherness. That's all you need to know. What do the cards mean? And then you put them in whatever kind of order you want or whatever kind of information you're looking for, and then you get it. That's all you need to know how to do, is what do they mean? Then you will find out that you do have an intuitive spirit. Once you start, everybody at some point feels as though I can't do it. And then once you start doing it, it all comes out. Guarantee you. Because at some point in my life, I didn't do this at all. And so now look where we are. So Four of Pentacles, this is kind of what I thought, though, because why didn't they want, to read the Mueller report? Why didn't they want the information there? But about this whole whistleblower thing, now they're all coming out. Because the end of Trump is near. And so they feel that. They feel as though, okay, now we kind of need to get on board with, saying maybe, just maybe, there's something there. Because their supporters were not going to read the Mueller report, period. Like, they just weren't. Because they thought it was fake in the first place, because that's what Sean Hannity always said, and he knows best. And then it's really long. It's like, I'm not reading all that. I'm not even reading the synopsis that William Barr put out. But this stuff is close to the vest, so they have to sort of, thank you, Rossi. And then there is the plans. So this is them right now trying to inch their way forward. And, get out from under that umbrella, saying, I'm not really a Trump Republican. I'm more of a Tea Party Republican. Same thing to me, but, to them, they can claim something else. The world of possibilities. Ace of Swords, the new actions, the new ideas, the new thoughts, the new this, the new that, the clarity. So since Trump admitted it, they have to really go with the hot hand here. They have to go along with the story. They can't go in then and say he's lying. It came out of his mouth. Or they can't say the Dems made it up. He said it. So they have to come out now and say, well, we need the full report. We need the full message. We need the full this. And mind you, they don't necessarily want the full information so they can use it against him. It's not really all that complicated. He either did or he didn't. He said he did. But then they can try to take that and give it to Hannity, who is a spin machine, and, Laura and her. Anyway, moving on. That's a rant coming on. Seven of Swords. Sneaky. This is what I was saying. I always speak my cards before they come up. That's what I was saying. This is a strategy. This is something sneaky. Hi, Lucille. This is something sneaky. This is not something they're doing because they want the information to come out. They can take the same information and then use it to say, this was not that big of a deal. People do it all the time. It's called opposition research, all that kind of garbage, that type of thing. Death card. They want to spend this. So they want all the information. They want to meet the whistleblower. They want everything. That way they can spend. 2020 is coming a little too quickly for some of them. So Three of Pentacles. Those alliances. I promise not to rant. The Emperor. Protecting the leader. Nine of Wands. That's the fear. That this is going to be a little too hard to fight. And the Queen of Swords. There is the law. It's not on your side. I don't know why that's your hopes, but Nine of Cups. I want to go to Scotland. It's 144 there. So, wishful thinking, and behind it is bad news or delayed news. So, this is you trying to hold out into the morning light. You want 2020 to get here. And hi, Luann. Well, welcome. You want 2020 to get here. That way, he made it. Unemployment level is about to go up at least by one. 8 of Pentacles. There's your work. And there's your burden. Anxiety around money. Everything this man does causes anxiety around money. Everything. I said he has broken every law but jaywalking, and if he ever does that, who's going to pay the ticket? This is him. So they want to spend this while they can. That's it. You gotta have that money. Okay, so he said, thanks, Genie. He said, he wants them to vote right now before he cooperates. So basically, if you're going to impeach me, then I'm not telling you anything. But if you're not, then, I mean, you've already told them. Like, I don't understand exactly. Anywho. Last time we didn't get a troll at all. Welcome, General Lee, anyway. One of your comments didn't make it through. America is white again. It was always white. Well, once they stole it, it was always white. I mean, tear out the front page. Bless your heart. What deck should a new reader start with? I would honestly suggest go on Amazon and Etsy and Llewellyn.com and see which one stands out to you. Because I can tell you, get this one, and then you get it home, and then it's like, I don't really like this anymore. And it's one of those things. But the Rider-Waite is the original, not the original. It's, I'm actually ordered the original. The original is called like Solabusca or something like that. But the Rider-Waite is what most tarot decks are based off of. And so it'll have images that you'll see in pretty much every other tarot deck. So just get the Rider-Waite one and start from there. I don't mind a troll. They just no, the gigantic ones are for the tarot classes because they show up better on camera than that little bitty one that I'm not reaching to get. Barbies are not born racist. Oh, baby. I know it. Thank you, Elaine. It's he just wanted to be a part. That's all. They just don't know how to say hi. We had a person earlier, just what was it? Good night, Marie, who said they were just new to the channel and they want to say hi, and everybody said hi back. That's what you do. That's all. You know, they figure you jump in the channel, everybody screams at you, get out of here, and nah, we ain't gonna go through all that. It would be different if he had people who loved him or her, because then they'd spend time with those people instead of in here bothering other people. But anywho, what would happen if they voted right now on his Donald Trump? He said that I'm not cooperating until you hold a vote. So oh yeah, casting the nets was troubling. Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to catch attention. If they vote it right now, they have the vote secure. This is security. This is luxury. The magician. There's the skillful ones right there. Everything you need, you already have. Kind of like, well, why don't you just do it now? I guess they need to really build a case, because you can vote him out. That's one thing. Put him in jail is a whole different thing. 3 of Wands. All they need to do is wait. This is called the 8 coins. Keep that word too, tattoo tarot, because there are 3 different tattoo tarots. This one's the 8 coins tattoo tarot. And the Empress, new life. And the Page of Cups, news felt on an emotional level. If they vote on you right now, you're still going down, so be careful what you wish for. 6 of Pentacles, sharing time, money, information. If they vote on you right now, you're going down. And you probably would go down just out of spite, because it's kind of like, okay, don't test me, because I don't see him going to jail. But let's ask right now, though. Trying to resist the urge. I don't even try anymore. I have 71, so I'm just trying to figure out. I need 29 more to get to 100, because I don't like off numbers like that. But there is Judgment. Page of Cups again. I don't see him going to jail. There's some sort of weaseling out that he could do, or maybe some sort of he has bone spurs. I don't see him going to jail, though, unfortunately. But free will changes destiny, so maybe something will change. Maybe it will. So Kurt Volker said that he was the connection between Giuliani and the Ukraine leader. What's the Celtic deck called? So, Kurt Volker. Let's see. I don't know much about him. So let's just do cold reading on you. Indecision, Chariots, the Fool, Ten of Pentacles. So Kurt Volker. Well, believe it or not, he may play a bigger role than he believes, whoever he is. He was the liaison. He was basically the one who connected Ukraine to a whole lot of people. But that one's called the Gothic Tarot, Egypt. But he has a decision to make. With McCain and the University of Arizona. Okay. He's got a decision to make. He's put in the middle. There's the Fool. And there is the Chariot. This is the beginning. This is winning. But you have to really try. You have to focus your efforts. You have to have a lot of effort put into it, all that kind of stuff. And there is the GOP, and then there's transition. So he holds the key to a lot of information that could bust his case like wide open, but does he tell the truth or not? So far he is, because he didn't have to give up the information that he was the connection between Giuliani and Ukraine. So he's got more information to give. So watch him. Watch this space, as they say. Thank you, Connie. So Bernie Sanders has got a stint put in. Yes, that was the one. Oh, Lord. Giuliani, I believe, is married, isn't he? Yeah, I think he will. He's got a lot to say, too. What did I just say? Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. I'm actually not going to use those. I'll use this. Because this is not political. This is more of his well-being, and then we'll go into political after that. So let's look at his well-being first. Myocardial infraction. Maximum age to run for president. There is a minimum. No, I have not. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. No, I have not. So he has had 2 stints put in. Yeah, I don't think he had a heart attack. I think he was having problems in his chest, more along the lines of just... Because I don't know if he would have survived a heart attack. Well, I mean, you can have larger, smaller ones, I guess, but... let's see. 2 stints. Will he be all right? Chaos and conflict. So right now, it's heart attack. Okay. It's not in the greatest of spaces, honestly speaking. Myocard. Oh, it isn't. Okay. So the chaos and conflict is where he is right now. It's just it's a lot of unexpected stuff, which of course a heart attack sometimes is, but a leg up. This is, well, it's kind of sad in a way, but we can just read this in, we'll be optimistic, because this, a leg up is a card that says, you have gone as far as you can. Give the responsibility to someone else. Let someone else lead the way. This is not just a card of help. This is let somebody else lead the way. Will there be a second whistleblower? Yes, there will. By the book, conformity. Now, this is listening to your doctor, which I don't think he'll have a problem doing that. He didn't make it this long by being that hard-headed, so he will listen. But in the end, we have flexible. So this is open-mindedness. I'll save that for the political reading. We'll do politics now. He'll be fine. But that doesn't translate to he should be back on the political trail. Now, here's why I say this. Because we're being optimistic, and optimism is good. But let's also be realistic for a second. Yes, he's probably going to feel better because he's had the operation. He's probably going to definitely live longer. That does not translate to you need to be the president. Simply because look at Bush and Obama. They went in dark hair, came out white hair. This job is not easy. You have a heart attack before you're president. The stress of being president is going to add even more stress onto his heart. You feel good now, but you're not running a country and feeling good now. Can you feel good and run a country at the same time? I don't know. Let's see. I still think that he could do it, but physically speaking, it's just not an easy job. But he's a tough guy. But the heart is the heart. And we can't just say because we like him, because I do like him. I would love him to be president. But I can't just say, oh, he's going to be president because we believe in him. But can he do it? We're talking about a heart here. A heart that is, and he's 77, 78 years old. Yeah, 77 years old. He'll be 80 once he gets out of office. 80 something. So, let's see. And it's a little different for Donald Trump because Donald Trump doesn't actually do any work. And we know Bernie Sanders is very hands-on. He's very in your face. So he's not a person who shies away from confrontation. He's not a person who shies away from problems. But that is a good way to take a whole lot of stress home with you too. And, he does what he needs to do to keep himself healthy. He's made it to 77. He goes, he jogs, he eats right, all that kind of stuff. But, the sands of time do not go up the hourglass. They go down. So let's see. Can Bernie recover and become president? Yeah, he'll be fine. But being fine with the stint is different than being fine with the stint and being the president. It is a job that ages and stresses everybody. Obama was in his 40s. When he got out of the office, you see what he looked like. I mean, he still looked fine, but his hair was white. George Bush, their hair turns white because it's a hell of a job. I don't know why anybody wants it, but strategy, it's all about strategy. There is a way he still can do this. I mean, Donald Trump is probably he said he's the healthiest person that's ever run for president, is what his doctor said, but I'm probably thinking it's the other way around. And he's there, but he doesn't do anything. So there is a way that Bernie Sanders could get in and still do this, but he cannot do everything he wants to do. When somebody says something, you can't jump up and rebut. Sometimes you may have to ask somebody else to do it. So he would need a lot of help. That's where that leg in card came up, is he's just going to have to relinquish a lot of responsibilities onto other people. And I don't know if that's something he wants to do, seeing as how he has a lot of ideas that he wants to get going and to get started and to do this and to do that. I don't know. I just don't have the greatest of optimism in the world when it comes to this. I think he can do it personally, yes. Logically speaking, that is not a job for a person with the heart condition. Like, I get that he will be fine. I know he will be fine. We just seen it. He will be fine. But being fine with a stint and the president is not something he is right now. So let's see. Yeah, he's going to have to really get together with other people. Like, the vice president will probably have to play a bigger role than they normally do. He will have to take it slow. He can still do this, but this is just not something he needs to just grab the bull by the horns and try to wrestle it to the ground. Because what I don't want is for him to get in and then 18 months later, the country's in mourning because we lost Bernie Sanders. Like, I don't want something like that. There's the government. He can still do it. He really can. But he cannot do it by himself. I mean, none of them do. But the amount of stress that the Democratic presidents traditionally take on is not something he can do. And he definitely does not need to be trying to do a two-term thing. Communication. That is very, very key right now. Commission. This is the Knight of Pentacles. You're just going to have to see somebody else in charge for a moment. Nine of Cups. There's that wishful thinking. And the Three of Cups. Yeah, you can do it. You're just going to need a lot of help. There's confusion and the fear. White House in your hopes. King of Cups. There is you. And the Hangman. There's the Fool and the and your word of warning. Like, you know what you can do and what you cannot do. And when you leave that hospital, they're going to tell you some things. This is why that other card of By the Book came up. Don't be foolish. Don't do it because you think you can. Do things that you know you can do based upon your doctor's advice. You're not 30-something. As hard as it is to say. Now, okay. Whenever I have ever asked who will be president, this card pops up. Now, I don't know who it is. So I'm not going to just default and say it's an air sign woman, because the air sign woman is Kamala Harris. But this person pops up every single time I ask who's president, and it pops up in his solace. So there's someone either you can run with, maybe you can be vice, and then they can be president, and then you can still get your things in there implemented, especially if it's Elizabeth Warren, because you and her sort of think alike. But the new action and the disappointment, I think this is over. Sadly. But I think so. I think it's done. I think Kamala Harris does need to take Barr's job. Absolutely. Let's ask who's going to. I'm going to take a shot in the dark right now and say who's going to be president. How about that? I'm not going to use this one though, because the cards are in place. Let's see. Who would be president? Let's just use this. Let's just take a shot in the dark. Because mind you, could be absolutely wrong, because 2020 is a long ways away. So, but we always say that, and it's October 4th right now. Where'd the time go? Who would be president after Nancy? I see that. So let's see. I usually do 5 cards, but I won't do 5 because then it confuses me. So let's see. Page of Cups, King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. So the race comes down to a woman and a man. This is Donald Trump for me, usually in my deck. And then there's a Queen of Pentacles. So I wonder if they fired, let's say they fired Pence and then got a female VP, then that's the president. Because I don't know if there's an air sign man right now, but here's the, I always get an air sign somebody. It's Queen Trump. Prime Minister of Canada. Queen of Cups, the Star, and the 8 of Cups. So someone at the center of tension walks away, and you have a water sign person or a person of a nurturing nature. Oh, wow. Could it be Pelosi? It could be. Because I didn't ask who was going to be president in 2020. I said who was going to be the new president. Now, she pops up for me as the Queen of Wands, but it could be her. Because she would be in a new role. Prime Minister, I always see Justin Trudeau not winning, but I honestly think he will. If you ask me personally, I think he will win. He just won't have a majority. So let's put this away and be specific, since that's how it wants to do right now. Who will be the President of the United States? January 21st, 2021. The President of the United States. January 21st, 2021. There's Queen of Pentacles again. Again. New plans, offers. Everybody didn't like it, but boo-hoo. 6 wands and the 8 of wands. So that celebrated person. Victory around whoever the Queen of Pentacles is. And then Inauguration Day. So I don't know who that is, though. Well, let's go this way. Is this a Democrat or a Republican? Is this Democrat or Republican? I probably should. Well, you could take it one of two ways. Is this female or male? I think it's Elizabeth Warren. Even though it always pops up Kamala Harris. So, bye, Rochelle. Beto is an air sign. Oh. Because I've always said to myself, I said it in a video once, but I don't know which one, that the president is going to be a generic white dude, and I kind of think that's him. Somebody like the Scott Bullock or somebody like Beto O'Rourke, who doesn't really stand out. Like, he doesn't have some distinguishing Bernie Sanders white hair feature type of thing. He's just kind of some regular old guy. So Elizabeth Warren. I'm going to ask specifically about her, and then I still got to finish my list, so I'm moving on after that. Is it you? Hardship, the Lovers, completion with the World, King of Pentacles, and the Empress, brand new. I don't think so. But as we know, things can change. She may get herself a cabinet role, though. What I was going to do he was short for penitentiary. That's what his name is. I don't think Elizabeth, but I want Elizabeth. That's just me. Yes, penicillin is very useful. He is not, but penicillin is. So Facebook according to the UK, the UK can order Facebook, because this is not America we're talking here, but the UK can order Facebook to delete a post anywhere in the world. They can make them. So this has sort of propped up the conversation of censorship anywhere in the world. Anywhere is what the article said. Now, the rule or law that they have is aimed at basically false posts and destructive posts, things that spread misinformation intentionally. So, will this be a problem? Yay or nay? I don't read on Pete Buttigieg because I have a bit of a unsubstantiated bias. Like, I don't trust him, and I don't know why. So I keep myself away from that. Because he hasn't done anything to me. He hasn't done anything that I can just say he's a horrible person or anything like that. But you know how your spirit sees somebody else's spirit and they just don't like it. So I stay away from there. I'm sure he's a nice, lovely person, but not for me. 8 of Pentacles. Is this a problem? Six of Swords. So far, it does not look like it. Like we have, something we do every day. This is an ordinary thing, and we move on into something else. It's like you sort of get used to it. The Douglas plan. I have to read what that is. I'm not sure what that is. But there is, for those in Patreon, here's the Oprah card. There is something disappointing, though. And it may be on Facebook's part, because Mark Zuckerberg does not like to be told to do anything. Because he's sort of gotten that I'm rich, I'm up here type of thing. And that's a very dangerous thing to have about yourself. Because when you feel as though, I think he is an asset too. Because he had absolutely no problem continuing to sell ads to Russia, even though they know where they came from and they know what they were. Yeah. Anywho, he does have an authority issue. And it's something very small, but it still bothers me. Then when he went to meet with Barack Obama, even though he's the cool president, he wore shirts and a pair of jeans and a shirt. He went to meet Vladimir Putin and he had on a suit and tie. So it's like, why would you dress up to meet Putin, but dress down to meet Obama? Like, I get it. He's the cool president. Fine. But there's still a respect for the office that you should have. That even rappers put on suits to go meet him. So, I mean, you had no excuse. You got enough money to buy you one. Anywho, but that was aside. Back to this. He just feels as though he doesn't, because he wants to take on Elizabeth Warren. He can't wait until she's president so he can take her down, is what he's saying. I'm paraphrasing. But he has this he has a massive ego, and he does not like to be told to do things. So he's going to fight this too. Has something to do with money, naturally, and payout. So yeah, this is about money that he receives. And at the end of it all, or at the beginning of it all, and the middle of it all, this is what drives him now. Not creating a social platform so people can connect with their loved ones. It's all about what can I sell and who can I sell it to. Because this is a public company now, so he does have responsibility to his shareholders to produce something that is more, I guess, profitable. But anywho, death, major change for you and your business. Yeah, you're going to have to do things differently. Sit back and watch it happen too. Because they said that you have to, based upon our order, delete whatever we say anywhere in the world. How long that's going to be, I don't know, but there it is. Wishful thinking and the fear. The chariot and victory and the hope. High priestess and the tower. They see through you though. Like this is no longer a unknown operation. Like we know what you're all about, especially since the exposing of all these Russian people and all these Russian troll forums. Like I said in a different reading, someone in my family was part of a Black Lives Matter group on Facebook, and it was started by Russians. And it spread misinformation. This is where they got the story that Hillary Clinton was a racist. They got it from there. And your word of warning, Four of Wands. This is something bigger than you, that if you want to fight a whole government, go for it. Judgment. And Justice and the Nine of Swords. This is bigger than you. This is over your head. So you can say, okay, this is censorship, but it's bigger than you. How are you going to fight the UK government over here? This is not our rule. It's their rule that says that they can order him to delete posts of destructive nature or misinformation. There you go. It will stand. So, Sean Hannity. The mess that he is. Sean Hannity. I want to know what his fate is. Is he paranoid or what? He said that there are embedded members of the resistance on the Fox News network because everybody is not basically peddling the same message that Donald Trump is innocent. And so you get envisions of a clown in your mind. Well, with that being said, let's switch up here then. Where are you? Where art thou? Why not? Le Grand it is. Sean Hannity says that there are embedded members of the resistance on Fox News. This is the Hannity deck now. So is he paranoid? Because everybody's not spouting the same message that Donald Trump is innocent. What I think is starting to happen, I don't know why I feel this way. If Donald Trump makes it to 2020, Donald Trump wants to start his own news network, which we'll also look at. And Sean Hannity may find his way over there because he's being very loyal. They also said on a separate note, get an idea, that Rudy Giuliani went in to talk to Paul Manafort. I don't think Paul Manafort should have visitors. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't think he should, not with what he knows, that he refused to tell anybody. But anywho. So yeah, he's sort of he is paranoid. He's kind of he's kind of, backed himself into a corner, kind of like they're coming to get me in his own spotlight. He's the one with the truth. He is just Four Swords. Trying to sit this one out. Retreating. Like I just said, backing him own self into a corner. He is retreating. He is paranoid right now. Like, there are way too many hayseeds around him. There are way too many people who don't have the Trump agenda around him. I'm not lose it, Nancy. I swear, I'm not going to. But he's got his own agenda, and it's the Trump agenda. He's bringing it here, and then gets mad when the Shep Smiths of the world don't follow suit. And Napolitano, or whatever his name is, when you come out and you say something that doesn't go along with the Trump doctrine, then he's backing into a corner and shivering and shaking. Child, please. So is he paranoid? Knight of Wands, new actions, galloping ahead. The Pope, the High Priest, the Hierophant, and the Ten of Swords. So he has lost his morals. He has lost his moral compass. And I mean, that's not news, tear out the front page, but he's not necessarily he's not Lord. He's not following a moral guideline. He's basically just repeating lies for the sake of being loyal, which to me I think at this point that he may have some sort of mental illness or delusion, because I think he believes it now. Like, you sit in the room with lies for so long and you keep repeating them for so long, it's kind of like you're now inoculated to the truth. You have brainwashed yourself. And so he believes it. When he did his little, fangirl text mess back and forth with Paul Manafort, that's all they can say is, "Oh, Manafort, I can't believe this is happening to you, and I'm going to fight for Trump." And child, please. Queen of Coins. This is your job here. And the World. There is a sense of completion. There is a sense of the big picture. I think you What you want right now is to sort of gather the troops, gather the Trump supporters, and just sort of make your own thing with Donald Trump and his new network. Twisting yourself into a bind. Look at that. 4 of Cups. Three of Cups. Celebration. Yeah, you want Trump to do his own thing. That way you can be a part of it. 7 of Swords. Sneaky. Strategy. Trying to get away with something. Now, Sean Hannity, I'm going to give you some advice. Not that you're watching, but you might one day. Because everybody has seen this channel at some point in their life. Sean Hannity. This is what you need to do. Pay attention. Tell the truth. Go off and do something else. Simply put. Why? Because you sit and you lie, spread misinformation on purpose, because you think this will gain you favor with the president. Donald Trump is not a loyalist. He is a demander of loyalty, which means when your back is against the wall, he will not be there to save you. Ask Michael Cohen. Ask Mike Flynn. These people went down with his ship, but he was not there to help them paddle. I'm just saying. 6 of Pentacles. But your strategy is for that money. This, you want to be a part of his circle. You will be, and that's fine. And I'm actually glad that you will be, because that means you go down too and take Tucker Carlson with you. 8 of Swords. That's your word of warning. Trapped and bound. You cannot get out of this now. This is what Fox News is trying to do. Backpedal from the Trump police, but they've already lost their morals, so it's over. 2 of Cups. You always have a friend. It's just not Trump. But your clarity is clouded. There's the Moon card and Clarity card, so it's clouded. So you believe this. You believe all this. But he is not your friend. He will never be your friend. He has no desire to be your friend. You are saying nice things about him. That's it. That's the only reason he pays attention to you. He would watch Anderson Cooper if Anderson Cooper said nice things about him, but Anderson Cooper doesn't, so he doesn't watch. But no, he does watch them. He does watch them to say he doesn't watch it. Ugh. I swear our IQs drop when we talk about him. So Trump News Network. He said that it is time to get our own news out there. Your own news is out there, young man. But we'll do a short reading. The answer is no, but we'll do a short reading. Will there be any success? Melania will pardon him. Oh. Trump News Network. Any success? Well, burden is your first card. Well, hard work is that also can mean hard work, but let's see. King of Swords. So we are talking about Trump. Will Melania be deported? I think she would leave on her own if Trump is arrested. Judgment. Four of Cups. And Three of Wands. So no, it is not going to be successful, but you do have people out there who could make it happen, but you have to pay them, which is not something you do. I think she would leave on her own because she wants to leave now. But she's got Secret Service and everybody following her around all the time. So Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I'll look at those two right now. And this is why I don't watch polls and all this stuff. They say that these two are falling in the polls and Elizabeth and Bernie Sanders are rising in the polls, and they're doing the best in the field right now. I think Andrew Yang is just somebody people like to talk to, and they're not taking him as seriously as I wish they would. Pete Buttigieg is still doing small town halls. Thank you, Elaine, again. We did that read a long time ago. I'm going to do it again, but I don't think it will. I think what happens is just... is that history just says this is a dark spot. But I think with the election interference, they would have to say that he was elected illegitimately. They would have to find evidence of cheating, and it's not something they're going to do anytime soon. It's something they would do down the line, but not right now. So I didn't see that, but anything can change. But I didn't see them doing something to illegitimize his presidency. I think that's Elsie. I think that's it. They're going to do more of like how our system is more flawed than it is how he's not president. So Joe Biden, we're at the crossroads, buddy. You are a strong player because of name recognition. Obama did not even endorse you though, but so they're all kind of looking at you sideways because of that. I don't think that's an Achilles heel for you though. 8 of Cups. There's walking away from something with a bit of regret. Not necessarily the campaign, but well, didn't he promise his son? This is a kid card. Didn't he promise his son he'd run for president? The question was, is his campaign over? He did promise his son, didn't he? I don't know. He still has a lot of support. Four of Pentacles. So he's clinging to hope, though. And they're counting. This is why I don't watch the polls, because every week it's something different. They're counting him out right now because his campaign is, struggling. So, completion in the world stage. Page of Swords. Bad news. Delayed news. Will she have to pay for her role in data targeting? I've never seen that. Because she didn't get away with it, like we know, but proving it is a whole different thing. So I just feel like she gets away with it. 7 of Swords. There is strategy is in your fear, but it's more along the lines of leaving something behind. You don't want to disappoint. I think this is more emotional than it is logistical. Like there's not a whole lot that you're just really trying to get accomplished. I think that there is just something emotional that's attached to this. This is also the past. So you've had good times in the office, and this is also a promise that you made to your child. So I think this is something more emotional than logistics. So it's not like you're trying to get a whole lot done in the presidency. You don't like Trump, so you're using that as your sort of catalyst to get things started. But I don't think Hangman is in your hopes. So new outlooks. Queen of Swords is in your environment. Someone's behind you. Six of Wands. This could just be leadership role. That's probably why I keep getting this. Because in my deck, what I don't have people for these cards. I have necessarily people for each one. Like the Queen of Cups is my nurturer, like the motherly figure. The King of Cups is the support system, your family. The King of or the Queen of Wands is like my judges and women who are higher up in offices. My King of Wands is like politicians, presidents, things like that. The Queen of Swords is what I have for like lawyers and like the legal system or legal system, lawyers and people who work within the legal system, not judges though, just like the people who grind down beneath the judges, the people like the lawyers and the paralegals and things like that. The King of Swords I have for the actual laws that are on paper, like the actual laws. So I get this as a leadership role that has something to do with law, so something to do with the executive or judicial branches or something like that. So there are people behind him right now that are involved in the law or involved in the government in enforcing laws some way. So he has support even from the inside of the government. So his campaign is not dead. It's just slow moving. But there is bad offers. Someone is going to offer you to step aside, though. Seven of Cups. And I think it comes from the inside. This is somebody you know. But you do want to sort of ride off into the sunset, do something new, but you just don't want to disappoint. And I think, like I said, this becomes more about emotion than it does about logistics. Like you're not really trying to get something done. You're just trying, you get something ending, something beginning. It's something better, something you wanted all along. I think if someone can gain the nomination, you will step away quietly. It will not be something that you even miss, will not be something that you regret. It will say, I tried, and you will keep it moving. I think you do want outs. Kamala Harris. Hi, Sammy. Thank you, Dark. Dark one. Communications and loss. Oh, good Jesus. Kamala. Home girl. Mm-mm. Separation, heartbreak. I think it might be over for you. Well, not over, but it is not going in a good direction. Let's call it that because it's still too early. Now, we have had a few that dropped out, but they didn't gain popularity, period. So once we get the big names start dropping out, like the Cory Booker's was on the fence because he said he needed to raise 1.7 million or his campaign was over, which he did. Oh, burden and celebration. You just can't seem to get the right kind of support. You have name recognition, but you don't have presidential likability. Like you don't have people saying, I want her as president. Like, people are not necessarily behind you, especially like right in here, when the first thing we say is Kamala Harrison would make a good AG. Like, we're not even going to president because we just don't see her in that role. Like right now, there are better people for the job is what we believe. And I think that's what your problem is we just have this nostalgia for something new. And we want that. We would love that Obama feeling back, but what's happening right now is we just don't feel that in you. And then they come out with the stories of when she was California AG and how she had all these bad cases and this and this. So they've already done the negative campaigns against you and you're still here. But we don't see it for president, I don't think. And I think that's where the separation comes from, is that people like you, they don't like you like that. Yeah. Completion is in your fear, walking away. Queen of Pentacles, maybe the Queen of Pentacles is you, but there is another woman here. He had a woman in his too, but there's fighting behind this one. So if you do go down, stay cooperative. That's your warning from me. Battling, defending. There is a woman here. That's Elizabeth Warren is on your side. So if she wins, then you are counted as part of the cabinet, just so you know. But there is strength in alliances. So even if you do not win, you are still a part of the government. So who knows? She might be AG, but she is definitely part of the cabinet. She could be like Secretary of the Interior or something like that, because I think that she is going to be a part, whatever happens. So let's see. I'll do one more so people don't have such a hard time trying to watch it back. It's 2 hours now. So Rick Perry is going to step down from the Energy Department or the Energy Secretary. And it so happens he too has been in contact with the Ukraine. So his offices say that he is stepping down because he's completing all his little pet projects that he had. They called it pet projects. This is the person who wanted to get rid of the energy department. And the education department. Thank you, Darwin. Thank you very, very much. So why are you stepping down, Rick Perry? Because he just said that, he wants to go back into the private sector of the energy community. Mind you, you didn't even know the energy sector anyway. Moving on. High horse. I'm about to get on the soapbox again. So he wants to step down. We'll see why. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. Thank you. Both words work, actually. Wheel of Fortune, Rick Perry. Something turned for you. Let us see what's 10 of Cups. There's a family issue. If it's crossed by money, 5 of Swords. So it's crossed by dishonor. It kind of feels, we'll keep going. I'm going to say it anyway. It kind of feels like he's slinking out the back door. Like he heard the word Ukraine and his ears perked up and he said, oh, let me get the hell out of here before it comes to me. But now it's come to you because you sort of drew attention to yourself by trying to sneak out of a quiet room. King of Cups, there's you. 3 of Cups, there is an alliance of some sort. I don't know what you got from the Ukraine or why you even talked to the Ukraine. That hasn't come out to me yet, but Hangman, you caught yourself up in this, so I think it might be that. Whatever it is, it's ugly. Communications. So whoever it was you were talking to is the reason you are stepping down. Your fear is the Chariots, truth coming to you. Your hope is the Magician, to get away with something. 5 of Cups, there is disappointment, and 2 of Pentacles. The moment you fail to balance, it will all come falling down. So you will be another person who will have a huge story. The Emperor is in your warning. So something you had to do while you were in office. This makes it a lot more difficult for you to run away from. You can say, okay, I did such and such as a private citizen, but when you're in office, there's a paper trail. 10 of Swords, you have no solace. As I say, God answers all prayers. Sometimes the answer is no. And it has something to do with money. Offers of money. But not just money. Hi, Cynthia. But money someone commissioned you to do something. You were paid for something, or paid for looking the other way, paid for some sort of favor, some sort of something that you could do for somebody. They paid for it. I don't know. You don't even know what it is you could do as energy secretary because you didn't know it. That's where the nukes are held, is in your offices. They're maintained in your offices. You said get away from the educational department, the energy department, and some other department you couldn't remember. I think agriculture and something. But yes, they're paying here for something. I just don't know exactly what, but it's got something to do with money. But we'll keep with tradition. And we won't end on the ugly notes. We'll end on the positive notes. Thank you, Jacqueline. We'll end on the positive. We're at 2 hours and 5 seconds right now. Most of them come from Amazon. Question everything. Blessed is a card that says you got something you did not earn or that you did not deserve. This is a card that says question everything. Find the hidden knowledge. And poised is self-confidence. There are times when we feel as though throw your hands up, ask God to help you. You know, why bother with anything? God handles it. What I believe, not to press my beliefs on other people, but what I believe is God's not going to do something to you or for you that you cannot do for yourself. He's not your genie. He's not your butler. This is a person that comes in or an entity that comes in when you cannot do anything else. Sometimes the answer is hard to find, but that's why your brain works the way it does. It's analytical by nature. Children go out, they try to find the answers to everything. They try to understand. They ask thousands of questions of people that they think have the answers, all to gain confidence in the things that they do, in the things that they want to do, the things that they must do. What you need to do. Focus. You don't have to always wonder why. Find out why. It builds your confidence when you figure out something on your own. When you figure out how to do it. Just beseeching the heavens and thinking the answer is going to fall out of the sky is not necessarily the way it's going to go. If you can just get up on your own 2 feet, take your own 2 eyes, whatever it is that you need to take to find your answer, find that answer. At the very least, try. That's what I have for you. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all have a good night until we do this again. November the 1st, I am going to do another one. That one's going to be a little different because what I want to do is personal readings. And so I think maybe November 1st we'll do the regular one, and then maybe November 2nd we'll do the personal thing. So if you have a personal reading, meet me back here at November 2nd, and first come, first serve. We'll see what we can do. If you want to give me a question and not have your name, because it's going to be live in front of everybody, but if you want to ask a question and you just want it answered here, I won't use your name. But like I said, it'll be first come, first serve, so don't be offended if I don't get to you. So you can email me your question, and then I won't use your name, but I can still do the reading on November the 2nd. So until then, I will see y'all next month. I will see Patreon next week. Good night.